Hey, I'm Andrea Runnels, also known as the Social Studies Whisperer. And yes, I am passionate about American history, and I'm a huge history nerd. I also was a teacher for 16 years. I left the public school classroom because I want to help support English language learners from the outside. And by helping teachers, I can help support those kids. I also left the classroom to be a champion for kids with ADHD. So a lot of the activities that I include in my social studies topics are things that are modified to meet the needs of my two special populations, because I feel that English language learners are one of the most, I just don't even have the words. They have so much potential. There's so much possibility if a teacher just takes the time to believe in a child and just show them that they have so much to offer, and that being an English language learner is not special education. If you are an English language learner, that means you probably know more than one language, and that means you are smarter than the rest of the kids. And so I will include a pep talk just for kids at the end of this, because some of the best work I did in the classroom was building up my kiddos who were not the typical norm, like my gifted learners, my English language learners, and my kids with ADHD. The whole entire reason why I took the gifted endorsement was to better meet the needs of my kids who were English language learners, because I felt that they were not being identified the way that they should. And so this course is going to give you the opportunity to modify your curriculum in a way that is easy and that will be best practices for all kids. And so I'm using the lens of social studies to help you, because what it is like a scrapbook of sorts, in like a digital guide to setting up your English language learners for success the way that I did in the classroom my last year. And so included are a lot of social studies ideas, because I was departmentalized and taught science and social studies. And as a social studies whisperer, super passionate about social studies. Okay, I believe in connecting the past to the present, and I believe in making content relevant. And to do that, you also need to include people of diversity. And so that's super, super, super important. Okay, so I hope that this gives you a lot of practical tips and a lot of inspiration so that you can set yourself up for success, for modifying your content for English language learners, and then therefore the kiddos are set up for success. Because if you take that time to build that relationship with those kiddos, then you will be amazed at the progress they will make. I had kids coming in not speaking English, and at the end of the year, I was mind blown. They were reading on like second or third grade reading level. I mean, mind blowing. It just takes one teacher to make a difference. And the fact that you're watching this right now means that you care. Okay? Thank you so much. A little background first. I want you to think about your comfort level with where you are with modifying curriculum. Maybe you have no experience at all, and that's okay. Maybe you do have some training, but you've just been too busy. That's probably more likely the case. So what this is going to do, like I said, there's a reason it's called a quick start guide, because it's going to help you with some easy strategies. I'm not asking you to fill out paperwork upon paperwork upon paperwork and do these really complicated things. Okay, first of all, I will be using the words English language learners and ESOL interchangeably, or ELLs, because those are the terms that are familiar to me. I realize in other states, your students who are English language learners are referred to by other program types. But I'm from Georgia, and those are the terms that I'm familiar with. Also, I will say newcomers, and by newcomers, I mean students who might be a level 1. Okay, let's think about levels first of all. In the book, I refer to WIDA levels, WIDA. And I have a link to WIDA.us to help you get a little background upon the different WIDA levels, because the way the levels go from like beginning student to like exiting the ESOL program. And so it's kind of important to be familiar with that before you get further upon your study. And it's in each subject level varies as well. So that website has a tremendous blog, and so that's a great place to start. And I've also included tons of helpful links at the end of this. Okay. And so thank you so much for watching, and think about where you are now, what level you're at, and then hopefully by the end you'll be ready to level up. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the Arty Party. Not only am I passionate about American history, but I also wanted to make sure that the arts were integrated. Do you know why? Because oftentimes my English language learners were talented in music or the arts, and so that gave them the opportunity to shine. So my Civil War projects incorporated the arts, and I often used primary source photos for lesson hooks, and kids can describe the pictures in their native language, and so there are so many good sites for getting primary sources, and I have a whole entire YouTube series about that I've included links to. So I would have them analyze the pictures, and I would also incorporate songs as lesson hooks, and use the lyrics as close reading passages, or just have them listen and respond and do quick writes. Also, vocabulary, those hip-hop educational rhymes. That site, you have to check it out. I paid for it out of my own pocket. It was the way to go. So definitely integrating the arts gives those kids a time to shine, and that just warmed my heart to see the kids performing outside of their comfort zone. I had one little girl sing the national anthem when we did the Civil War projects, and through that she found the confidence to perform and go on to do solos in front of the whole school for chorus, and so that really made me happy. You never know, you could totally spark an interest in the arts and discover a hidden talent, and then that kid goes on to shine in that their whole life. So I'm firm believer in integrating the arts, and especially because I know a lot of schools, the arts are getting cut, and on a national level, the arts and humanities are going away. So regular classroom teachers can definitely find opportunities to incorporate the arts. There are lots of places where you can find songs from time periods, and YouTube definitely has a bunch. I found several. So definitely have to find a way to incorporate the arts. Photography, movie clips, definitely use IMDb. Movie trailers, always preview them first. I've learned that lesson the hard way with A League of Their Own and Madonna, and when we were doing World War II Homefront. So definitely incorporate the arts, but listen to the whole song first if you're doing a song, and also watch a whole video first if you're showing a video clip for of a movie, and find those primary source photos. Okay, this is broken down into different sections based on like my top 10 hacks. Teacher hacks are a great thing, like my little tips and tricks that I use to modify curriculum that the kids didn't even know. And I share some that relate to social studies as well. So you might accidentally end up liking social studies when this is over. So some of the topics I'm going to cover are setting up your classroom space and organize your classroom library, primarily like for social studies or just to have more engagement from your English language learners. Also, I'm going to cover with setting up your classroom more like how I use a timeline on the wall as a preview, because it's important to preview things. I'm also going to cover posting language objectives in addition to whatever required curriculum standards that you are supposed to have. I'm also going to cover like some ways that I used whole brain teaching and did like hands-on vocabulary, and ways that I did used teach and had the kids had student directed learning, and also gave the students opportunities to build speaking and listening skills, because all teachers are ESOL teachers. If your students are pulled out for services, then that's generally not too much of the day. And so it's very important to include those kids all through the day. That way you can increase their language acquisition even more, okay? Some other things that are going to be covered are going to be like anytime activities that English language learners can do, and like how to make a newcomer kit. Because I don't know how many times I was sitting there, like maybe it was during my planning time, or walking out the door, or in the middle of a reader's theater presentation, yes, or right before standardized testing, True story. It happened. And I got, Mrs. Reynolds, please send someone to get your new student. Like out of nowhere. That's how it was done at my school. Like, you didn't know. You didn't get a heads up you were getting a new student. You were very lucky if you found out the day before. And so it's a good idea to have some stuff on hand in case you get a new student who does not speak English, because chances are the child might not even speak a language that you speak. I was lucky to know Spanish, but there were times when I got some students that spoke languages that I don't know. And so it's important to have a way to communicate and some ways to have the basic needs met, and kids to ask for help if they need it from a newcomer kit. Okay. I'm also going to cover integrating the arts because I think that's really, really important. And I'm also going to cover my picture dictionaries that I created to be a more supportive type of study guide for English language learners. Okay. So I hope that this is helpful, and I hope that you learn a lot. And let's get started with setting up our classroom space with English language learners in mind.